All right. So what brings you down here?
Well, I'm a Minnesota native. I'm 64 years old, and I'm mad as hell about what's going on in Washington and American foreign policy and American domestic policy. I joined the protest here on Friday, and I believe all that this stands for, which is an end to greed and corruption in America. And I can't see that our Congress is willing to do anything, and I'm afraid Obama isn't doing a whole lot. And therefore, I'm supporting this movement, and I think it's time that we all stood up to do what's right for America.
Let me ask you a question. You're not the only person that I've heard that said that Obama is not doing anything. Would it be fair to say that? Do you think that Obama is doing the best that he can? I truly believe that, and this is just my opinion, and everybody has their own opinion on this. But do you believe that Obama is doing the best that he can? Because when he came in, the Bush administration already screwed things up at the beginning, before he came in.
Right.
Do you think that he's doing the best that he can, or the best?
I don't think he's doing the best that he can. I think he's trying. However, all of his economic advisors came out of Goldman Sachs. All of them, Larry Summers, Geithner, and now Bernanke, all of these guys are the ones that helped Bush and the Federal Reserve get us into the mess. And they were all opposed to regulation. And now I don't see enough regulation, and I don't see a real good, I mean, they did the bailout. We gave the banks $700 billion, and then they put it all in their pockets, and they didn't keep anybody in their house. They didn't stop the foreclosures. And I didn't hear Obama pound the table and say, wait a minute, that isn't what this is all about. I didn't like his health care plan. He should have had a single-payer health care, and he should have gone for health care for all people. And he fiddled with that. And then he kept putting off raising the taxes on the rich. That should have been day 2 in his office. He should have said, now we're going to start to pay for all these problems. And then he also had a mandate to get those wars in the Middle East down. We are 4 years later, and it's costing us just as much money. There still are many casualties. We still don't know how to get out of there, and we have nothing to show for it. The majority of veterans today, the ones who served in the Middle East, are saying they don't see why we did all this. I do blame Obama that I think he was... I went door to door for Obama to get him elected, and Al Franken, and Keith Ellison. And I'm saying all 3 of these gentlemen should be there shouting what's going down. They should, when the Republicans stand up with their evil policies, all 3 of these should be pounding the table saying that's not what America's about. And I go way back to Paul Wellstone. Paul Wellstone was a senator who was actually doing good things and speaking out. And he dies suspiciously early. So I do fear that our leaders, the Democratic leaders, have not gone out and they haven't really made... I think Obama could make a compelling case that we have to stop the wars right away and that we have to take care of our elderly and that we have to get jobs. He can make a compelling case. He should be pounding the table on this, and he should be calling those people out for what the Republicans are trying to pull. Not only Obama, all the Democratic Party should be out there saying, this is wrong, this corporate greed, this wealthy person greed, and this corruption. Nobody's gone to jail except Madoff. He's the only one who went to jail. All the rest. In fact, now these leaders of these financial agencies are hiring their own attorneys because they're looking at civil cases coming where people saying, you stole all my retirement money and you cheated. How come it has to be them? Why isn't the federal government investigating? I'm very active in Amnesty International. I lead the Minneapolis chapter. And we're so mad about torture. Obama hasn't truly put all the nails in the coffin to stop torture. I don't know that he stopped renditions, which is kidnapping people to other countries for torture. I haven't seen anybody prosecuted. They said, waterboarding was torture. If waterboarding was torture, U.S. law and international law all said that somebody ought to be prosecuted, but nobody's prosecuted. So what do? We have a culture of impunity in America. George Bush, Cheney, and others go around bragging about the torture they did and saying they do it again, when in fact they broke laws, and there ought to be a consequence for that. And America needs to say, I'm sorry to the world for allowing torture. Just 2 days ago and today, they exposed a UN report that there's systematic, widespread, and severe torture in several dozen prison camps in Afghanistan. The U.S. has been paying the workers, has been training the workers in those camps for 10 years. And the U.S. is saying, oh, we didn't know this was happening. No, I'm sorry. The UN report is very clear. Consistently, prisoners were strung up by their wrists. Prisoners were beaten with electric cords. Prisoners had all kinds of severe punishment, including grabbing their testicles and turning them until they passed out with pain. This is from the UN report, came out yesterday and today. The U.S. is going to say, oh, we didn't know they were doing it. Oh, gosh, we wouldn't have approved that. Well, the Leahy law says the U.S. can give no aid, the State Department, the Defense Department can give no aid to groups that practice severe abuses of people. That's our law. After this report comes out, the U.S. should now stop giving aid to virtually all prisons in Afghanistan. And I would start with the U.S. Air Base at Bagram. We know that that's been a center for torture. We know that prisoners there have died under torture. So I'm mad about torture, the U.S. does. I'm mad about the accountability. But this protest is about the economics, and it's about the cheating and corruption. That is also very bad.
So, I mean, when you're talking about the economics, I mean, what do you think about the fact that Bernanke was rehired by the Obama administration after Bush and serving there? I mean, is that part of why you're down here? The whole idea of the Fed not being actually a part of the government?
I don't single out the Fed for being a particularly evil group. I think all the major banks are in collusion. I think these big companies, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, their leaders go in and out of the administration, just like leaders of defense industries go in and out of the Pentagon. This is an unholy alliance. And the fact that Obama has really only hired these people that are the source of the problem, and he's continuing to go with their ideas on this. About 2 months ago, he said, oh, I'm going to be kind to business, and I need a businessman who's going to be there, and he's going to help us be kind to business. He picked the guy, I think it was GE, the head of a CEO, that they pay no taxes. They're making billions of dollars, they pay no taxes. This is the man that Obama embraced as helping our government to find jobs and to be kind to business. We've been kind to business. Business is so rich. They're sitting on $2 trillion today, and they're not hiring anybody. So I'm just totally incensed about all this. I'm totally mad. I'm happy to bring some food for those that can stay overnight. And I'll be back here to support you in another day.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thank you.